I'm going to give you an overview of this forest garden, and this is possibly the best time of year to be doing it because we've just done a whole load of work on it, and a lot of the fruit and the berries are ripe. So we'll go into the garden in a moment, but I'll just give you an overview. To the right hand side there, you can see the trees more in the foreground, and just walking along the path, along this path, all the way along. And it's quite extensive. It goes all the way up here, and all these trees in the foreground, they're all apple trees, and we go all the way up here to this apple tree on the end. That kind of marks the end of the main sort of apple orchard and the berries and the forest garden part that's being developed, and then we've got this whole extra area where the grass is super long, and these trees are called rowans, and it goes all the way up there for the same length again that we've walked, and it's a huge area, and we're slowly going along it, developing it into a forest garden ultimately. So we'll just go into the forest garden and have a look. We've mulched a lot of the trees and put a sign up on all the apple trees saying, can you just help yourself, but in autumn don't pick them too early on because the apples won't be ripe. You can see here where, compared to the last video, we've made some paths in the grass, chopped it down a bit, and a couple of apple trees up there. And you can see we've really cleared it. So in most of the clearings and these beds, it's berry bushes. So over here are raspberries that we're just putting in the winter, so they haven't had any fruit yet this year. Actually under this tree is some hogweed. This is the hogweed. It's like a leafy green that you cook with. And down here actually is Jack of the Wood. This it's like a salad leaf. This is a patch of currants, white currants mainly. You can see down here where we're layering the branches on the floor, put a stone on top to reproduce it, because it will root down there, and then you cut them off and replant them in the winter. So we'll slowly expand and propagate the plants that way. Actually at the back there you see that big wall of green. It's a huge amount of wild cherry, and I'll see if I can get a close-up of some cherries. I think people have started harvesting them, which is great. See them all in there. So a really big volume of fruit already at the whole back of the orchard and the forest garden. This one's a really interesting one. Under this tree we've got creeping strawberries, so that's a really interesting sort of forest garden plant, and they were put there in the winter, so they'll need to establish themselves, and there's a good 5 or 6 plants under that tree. Here's a big area of what are getting to be now quite mature berry bushes, and here we've got a huge amount of white currants. See them there? Really dripping. And as these beds become more established, they become better at keeping the weeds away. But it's still a big job to come in and weed. Here we've got some strawberries, and these have already started to spread. So here we go, they send out their tendrils and they will root down and just spread throughout the winter. There's some pineapple mint down there, and another berry bush. Here are some black currants, and they've still got some berries on them, which is nice to see. People haven't quite discovered them yet, so here we go, a few berries. Just eat one of those while I'm here. And some white currants, a few on that one. It's not as established yet, that bush. And there's some red currants here. So a few red currants still left on it, but it had a lot more. We were tasting these when we were doing our work day. pretty ripe now. Quite tasty. So lots and lots of berry bushes. We're layering them down. Here's another one that I'm layering, and I did have a good look at that one, and it's got lots of root already. So we can separate that in the winter and plant it and propagate them. There's some oregano there, so that'll spread really nicely as well, and that's really easy to divide, the oregano. And you can see here the apples have started to drop, so just naturally the tree is thinning itself out. Lots of apples there. Big cluster in the middle. And this berry bush has the most black currants on it, I think, because they're all hidden by the leaves. But if you can see all those in there, it's looking amazing. I'll have one of those. Oh yeah, they've got a slightly different taste. Some lemon thyme on top of this mound. That's a hibernaculum, so buried a load of logs and sticks, put a big mound of earth on it, and that'll be a really good place for lots of little animals. Help the ecosystem. There's some sorrel around here somewhere, over here. There we go. Clump of sorrel, that'll be easy to divide and propagate as well, and it's like a salad leaf you can just eat straight off, and it has a really interesting taste. There's a hogweed over there, and a couple of things I don't recognise. Oh, this one's interesting. So we've got some comfrey down there under this tree. This is a crabapple tree, and because we're not, crab apples aren't really good for much, you can put them in cider, I guess, as a mix. Oh, and this bed beneath there, you see it's full of gooseberries, so that will develop. But this crabapple tree did some grafting in the winter. That's one that didn't take. But here's one that did. So you can see it was grafted on there. 2 grafts. One didn't work, but this one did. I think that's a pear. So it's actually beep 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 beep. Hello. So we've grafted a few different pear trees onto that one, I think, and we'll probably keep doing so and develop that tree to have lots of different fruits. If I just give you a look back at the forest garden, it's just a really nice place to walk through. Oh, there's some, I think that's a lovage or something like that. Kind of looks like celery, actually. I wonder if it could be used in the same way. Yeah, it's got that sort of celery smell, so whichever plant is similar to that, I think. Okay, so there's the forest garden update, and if you want to see how it was looking in the other seasons when there was blossom on it, or in the winter, then check out my channel. Thank you for watching.